I'm John McLeese, this is Bold Radio. Sometimes in life, you just need some good advice. No one is an expert at absolutely everything. That's why we're proud to present the Bold Radio Expert Series, where we welcome a qualified and experienced individual to offer sound advice on an aspect of running a business. Our guest today is a highly qualified financial expert. We're very pleased to be joined by Lindsey Ross, investment advisor at Steinbach Credit Union. Lindsey will bring her expertise today on the subject of pension and retirement planning. You work so hard now that one day you won't have to work at all. But before that day comes, when you're retired, it helps to make certain that you've saved enough money the most efficient and effective way possible. Lindsey, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. What is the difference now between a RRSP and a TFSA? And what do those terms mean?
Sure. An RRSP is a registered retirement savings plan, whereas a TFSA is a tax-free savings account. Both of them do offer the investor shelter from tax while the investment is held within the plan. The difference, however, is that with an RSP, you can deduct the contribution from your income that year, which earns you a tax refund, but the money is fully taxable on withdrawal. A tax-free savings account works in the opposite way in that you do not get a tax refund on contribution. However, you do not pay tax on withdrawal either.
So two different vehicles that are trying to accomplish the same thing by saving you tax overall. Why would an investor choose one over the other?
It really comes down to the tax bracket that you're in now versus the tax bracket that you believe you'll be in during retirement. If you're in a higher tax bracket during your working years than you believe you'll be in retirement, you'd want to consider an RSP contribution. The reason is that you'll get a larger tax rebate now, and the tax man will take a smaller bite out of on withdrawal. Mm-hmm. However, if you're in a higher tax bracket during retirement or the same tax bracket, then you may as well consider a tax-free savings account.
Complicated. People really have to make sure they talk to an advisor to understand the differences. Are there other factors that need to be considered when choosing between the two?
Definitely. You want to consider flexibility. All withdrawals from a tax-free savings account are not only tax-free when received, but you can also recontribute the amounts that you've withdrawn in the future. An RSP, not only are the withdrawals taxable when received, but you lose that contribution room forever.
Right. So once you take it out, you can't put it back in.
Correct.
Very interesting. What are the annual contribution limits on each RRSP and the tax-free savings account?
If a person has earned income in the previous year, an investor can contribute 18% of the previous year's earned income, or a maximum of $24,930 to an RSP, minus any employer contributions that year. With a tax-free savings account, a person can contribute $10,000 for 2015 or $41,000 if a person has never utilized a tax-free savings account at all in the past.
Some interesting numbers, lots of numbers there, but people have to understand that there is a lot of things that you need to consider. That's why we're talking to Lindsey Ross, investment advisor at Steinbach Credit Union. Lindsey, if a person works for an employer as opposed to somebody who is self-employed and is accumulating pension savings, does this also impact the decision on which of the two plans we're talking about that they should be contributing to?
Yes, definitely. An RSP must be converted to a RIF at the age of 71. What this means is that by the age 72, the Canadian government mandates that people start to take payments out of the RIF plan. This is considered income. If you couple this with pension income, not only could you potentially be in a much higher tax bracket than you may have thought you may be, but at certain levels, government benefits such as old age security start to become clawed back as well.
Right. So you need to have a good financial advisor helping you plan and how you're going to remove these funds as you get into that age group where you're starting to have to take them out and, of course, need the money.
Yes, definitely.
Very interesting. Let's swing over now to a business owner now. So if a person is a business owner and takes a small income to keep most of the earnings in the business, would this still make sense to invest some of those funds in either a RRSP or a tax-free savings account?
Definitely. We would always encourage people to save for retirement beyond their business investments. However, if you have a lower level of income, therefore being in a lower tax bracket, then a tax-free savings account definitely is the better choice.
Final question to Lindsey Ross. And Lindsey, what can an RRSP or a TFSA be invested in? Is there different vehicles that you are restricted to, or is there quite a bit of flexibility?
There is full flexibility. I think there is a common misconception that a tax-free savings account can only house things like GICs. That is not the case. Either plan, RSP or tax-free savings account, can be invested in anything from bonds to stocks to mutual funds or ETFs, which are exchange traded funds, just to name a few types of investments. And basically, if a person has the stomach for the stock market and feels that they can stomach the ebbs and flows of the market, investing in things such as stocks or bonds can yield a higher payoff. Because not only are the dividends and interest not taxed, but the growth of the investment is not taxed either.
Final question. What would be the number one thing for those people listening, either businesses or personal individuals that are trying to protect their wealth? What should they be doing?
I would say definitely always consider each of these plans and save for your retirement. It's always a good idea to be putting money aside on a regular basis.
And if people wanted to find out more information about Steinbach Credit Union and your services, where could they go to do that?
Well, there is a website, and of course we do have 3 locations, 2 in Winnipeg and 1 in Steinbach. And we offer, walk-ins as well, and we're there to answer any questions.
Steinbach Credit Union, Lindsey Ross, investment advisor. She's an expert on pension and retirement planning on Bold Radio.